Amit. Hello, Mr. Quincy Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please help us with the introduction of the invitation, introduction and invitation of the speaker, please? Just do something. Hello. Hello.
针对这件提的都非常靠下，每次都要到快中圈这个位置来接一下球了。
Hello, Cece. It seems Mr.
Hi.
Quentry is not available, so I would like to fill in for him, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Fiasam Linda Delali, and I'll be giving the introduction of our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is in the person of Dr. Benjamin Kluger-Brown. Dr. Benjamin Kluger-Brown received his bachelor degree in computer science from the University of Development Studies. He obtained his master's degree in computer science and technology and his PhD in biomedical engineering, specifically brain imaging, which is in dynamic functional network connectivity from the University of Electronics Science and Technology of China, UESTC, in 2015 and 2018, respectively. During his PhD, he worked on neurological diseases such as epilepsy, schizophrenia, and depression. He currently works as a postdoctoral researcher in the School of Life Science and Technology of USTC, specifically at the Brain Connectivity Lab. He recently achieved his first novel independent research on internet gaming disorder. Dr. Benjamin Kluger-Brown's main research interests include deep machine learning applications in resting state functional MRI, brain connectivity, addiction research, meta and mega analysis, interactive application design for neuroimaging. Ladies and gentlemen, without saying much, I would like us all to join me in welcoming our guest speaker for the night, Dr. Benjamin Kluger-Brown. Dr. Kluger-Brown, please, you have the platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mrs. Fiasson. I'm very glad to be called upon to assist in helping our friends, students, and anybody in China to understand certain things in our field. And also for today's program, which is basically on posters and presentation at the conference, is a very important topic, and most people do not see the importance of it until the day comes when you are supposed to attend the conference. So I think it is in the right direction that NUGS has organized this, and I'll try my best to discuss and explain and help to understand the steps that I have followed over the years. And I also think that there are many people here who have experience in it, and at the end of the presentation, we will have a discussion, and we'll see the best direction to go. All right, so if the admins will permit me, I will share PPT. Please, can you see my PPT?
Yes, I can see.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so like I told you, today's program It's going to be very interactive. And I would encourage anyone who has his or her, I can hear some feedback. So if your mic is on, please could you mute it? Thank you very much. So I'm going to, this seminar is it's a practical one as usual. You know, whenever I'm called, I would like to go the practical way so that it will not be something so abstract. All right. So what's to expect from this this seminar or this talk? So here we shall talk about some concepts of posters, and then after that we will dive deeply into the practical session where I'm going to explain some differences. So we have traditional posters and then modified posters. The reason is that over 35 years now, there has been a common trend in designing posters. But for 5 years ago or 4 years ago, a group of researchers saw that the way we design posters are not optimal. And so they also came up with an idea on how to optimize poster presentation without losing the content that the presenter wants to include. Then after that, we'll go to the general tips. So if you permit me, we should just begin. All right. So when we talk about posters, what do we mean by posters? We know that whenever you go for a conference, we need to express whatever we have done. And so these conferences have two main ideas. First, whatever you are doing in your lab, nobody knows except the person you are doing it with, or the one in your lab, or the one in your research center. So at conferences, scientists would have to share and discuss their data. And then the final part is that poster presentation is a formal way to discuss your work. So that is why in some research fields, they would rather tell you to submit your papers to conference than to submit to journals. Because in those fields, expressing yourself and then telling people what you have done, how you did it, and how it contributes to the scientific community, and then how it contributes to the whole world is important than submitting to peer review where you wouldn't know how even the assessment of your work is done. So conferences are very important. And one important aspect of conferences is the poster presentation or poster session. Whenever you go for a conference, there is a session where everyone displays his or her poster. This poster must contain certain things that you have done and then you want to discuss with others. So the question is, what is a poster? It might seem trivial. It might seem trivial, but I would like this is not the final definition of a poster, but I've seen people say certain things about it. So I just put these words together. So there are three things that you should consider about a poster. So a poster is concise, visually appealing. Poster is concise and visually appealing. Why should it be visually appealing? So that it can capture the attention of the audience. Now remember, when you go to these face-to-face conferences, you are just one person standing beside your poster. You have printed your poster and then you are standing beside it, expecting that people will approach you and ask you questions about what you have done. And therefore, if the poster design is not attractive, then I bet you no one will come close to you. Because sometimes when you go for these conferences, there are about 10, 15, 20, even 30 people standing beside their posters. And the duration is not that long. And therefore, the attendees will not have the time to stand and then look at your poster to try to understand whatever is on your poster. So it should be visually appealing. And that is the purpose of this talk today. And therefore, I thought that there should be something that we should all agree on when we design posters. Okay, so basically, a poster is what you have done in your research area, how you did it, why you did it, and most importantly, how does this contribute to the scientific community or to the whole world? And you can imagine just a poster should contain everything that you have done. And so sometimes we become confused. We don't know what to put there. We either overload the poster or put information that is not relevant. And therefore, at the end of the day, we cannot communicate whatever we want to, and then we cannot capture the attention of the people who want to explain our work to. Remember, this is a scientific or academic field, and everyone wants to express him or herself so that the person who is presenting can gain the trust whenever the research is being done. So this is very important. Now that we have understood what a poster is, how then do we design a poster? But poster design starts from your mind. It starts from perception, how you perceive the people who you are going to present the posters to, or how you conceive the things that you have already done in your lab. So we should understand that you would ask yourself a question like, so why don't I just go to a conference, sit there, listen to people, after that, go out and then have fun? Why should I design a poster, spend about 2 weeks or 1 month design a poster? Now, I've listed a few of them, which is not exhaustive, but I believe that most researchers or most people who have been to poster sessions or conferences will agree with me. So the first part is the first reason why I think that one should present a poster is that first you share your idea, you share whatever you have done with the scientific community. This is very basic. This is very basic. Now, the next one is you develop your verbal communication skills. Now, remember, as a scientist or as a researcher, the one part of you is to be able to articulate the things that you have done to someone. So if you cannot explain verbally what you have done to someone, what you have done in your lab or in your research area to someone, then it will mean that you do not really understand what you have done. And therefore, posters, because you are standing beside your poster and you're expecting that people approach you and then ask the question. So whilst they are approaching you and asking you the question, you'll be able to develop the mentality or the mental strength to convince the people or to tell the people whatever you have put on your poster. So it helps you develop your verbal communication. Now, another reason why I think that you should be at a poster session is that you gain experience because you meet a lot of people, not only from your research field or not only from your school or your institution. So it allows you to present everything or present your work to a wider range of people whom, if not because of the conference, you might not have the chance to even talk to. So this is another reason why you should be at a poster session or you should present a poster. Now, this is another important part. You get feedbacks. So whilst you are presenting your poster or you are explaining your poster to people, they will give you feedbacks, whether directly or indirectly. So indirectly means that some people will still ask you questions. They will continue to ask you questions. So whilst they ask you the question, you will now understand, well, maybe I should do this way because of this question. So based on the questions that they ask you, you begin to really think and then get a feedback from people who are in your field or even those outside your field. Now, after getting the feedback, what next? You build network. For me, this is one of I think this is the most important part, the reason why I go for conferences and then present my posters. You build network. In academic field or in scientific field, building network is very important because of collaboration. So whilst you build your network, you have the ability to collaborate with others, because then others will know the work you have done. They will know the work you have done. In scientific field or in any other research field, working together with others is very important. In my own experience, most of the things that I've done, most of the researches that I've done or the papers I've written and published were done in collaboration with other people. Because when you discuss with your network, they can give you many, many ideas on how to work. Then finally, you can get a job. I think that this part is more important for many of us listening, right? Even including me. Normally, when you present posters, when you build the network and you do collaboration, what happens is that people know what you're doing, people know your capability. So imagine I'm in final year PhD or master's and I go out there and present my poster and maybe what I presented is very important. Then it's likely that when I submit my application to one of these schools that attended the conference, it's highly or likely that I may get a job. Some people get their job from even defense. I can attest to you that I also got my job after my defense, because during the defense, someone came and the person saw what I did and the person wanted me to work with him. So it's the same way when you attend conferences, you build a network collaboration, and then that can strengthen your CV, or you may get a job. All right. Now that we know why we should go for poster sessions or we should present posters. Now, how do we design a poster? Okay, I think that before that, I needed to let you understand something. Everything that I've said so far is when you go for in-person conferences. But as you and I will know, for the past 2 years, getting to 3 years, because of COVID, most of the conferences are done online. So I put this slide here just to, give you something short about virtual poster session. So usually there are four steps in virtual poster sessions. So here we have maybe some of you have done it before, but I think that in last year I did it. What happens is that we have online gallery where you upload your images or your posters that you have designed. So normally when you design a poster, you put it in a form of PDF or JPEG or picture format, and then you upload it to a gallery where people can go and then look at. Then we have asynchronous sessions for virtual poster. So what is asynchronous? So in this asynchronous session, what happens is that before the virtual meeting, you upload your work, and then people can look at it and then they schedule a virtual meeting. So in this way, it becomes like a live something that you do. So people have already seen your work, and then they get a streaming software, and then you can attend and then watch whatever people have done. Then there is another one called synchronous session. So synchronous session is that either you do a record. So in my own case, last year, I recorded a video. I was doing a presentation just like we are doing now on my computer, and recorded it as a video and then uploaded it. Then I will have option either to do a live presentation or just leave the recorded video there. The next one is you have a poster gallery. So in poster gallery, what happens is that there is nothing like a video session. There is nothing like that. You only submit. So in my case, where you submit the video or you submit the file and then you leave it, many people will go and read whatever you have done, give comments, and then you can reply to them at your own time. Then the last one, most recently, the reason why I put this this poster or this slide here is that in recent time we have virtual reality. So now we have Meta, okay, and Microsoft virtual reality. So here most people will have to wear that their virtual, I think they call it virtual something, I forgot it, but you wear it, okay, like a video, and then it's like sometimes like glasses or a cap on your face. And then you enter into virtual session. So you see others who have also joined the virtual session, and then you can have it. I think for me, this is going to be the next thing in future, not even a far future. It's going to be the next thing where we will have our conferences in a virtual reality, which is going to be very interesting, but there are a lot of skeptics about this, which is another thing altogether. All right. So now let's, after understanding all this, so you have in-person poster session, how to do it, why we should do it. And then we have virtual session. So now let's design our poster. How do you, if you are going to design your poster, what are the things you need to know first? So first, you need to think about clarity. So here you have to understand, you have to find out what are the key points that you need to tell people. What are the, so sometimes when you are designing your poster, you are afraid, right? Because it's just a poster, it's not a long paper. So you don't know what should be the content. So some of us, what we do is that we dump everything. We just copy everything from our file, we dump it on this small, maybe 33 by 1 inches, poster. And then everything becomes so, clumped. I should tell you that if you do that, no one will read your poster. No one will read your poster. So before you do that, so I usually tell people that before you attend a poster session, please design your poster 2 weeks or even 1 month before the conference, because it will give you an ample time to know which are the key things that you need people to know. Now, the next thing is that although you don't want to put a lot of things on the poster, you should also remember that you put enough content that when someone views your poster, for instance, if it is in the gallery style, you are not there, so people will go and then read what you have posted. If you are not there, would people understand it? So you have to put enough content such that people wouldn't need your presence to understand what you have put there. Okay. Next, we have, you should understand something called visual interest. So in visual interest, what do we mean by that? We mean that you should notice the people who will be interested in your poster. So when you design a poster and the things on it are so abstract, then imagine that we have about 30 people lining up for a poster. and then we have about, let's say, 20 minutes for poster session. Do you think I'll spend all my time looking at your poster? No, no. So you should make sure that viewers should notice and be interested in what you have done. They should notice. Okay, so that is why designing an appealing poster is important. When I say appealing, I don't mean put fancy things there without giving the, the main message, but it should capture the interest of people. The next thing is that is in relation to just this one, it should be understandable. Okay, so when I come to your poster, I shouldn't think too much to understand whatever you have put on your poster. All right. Now, when deciding on a poster, if I'm going too fast, you can let me know at the comment section, okay? If I just want, because it's a practical session, so I want to beat time. So if I'm going too fast, let me know. All right, so deciding a poster, what should you do? So the first thing you should do is that you have to analyze your audience. So what do you mean by analyzing your audience? What do you mean by analyzing your audience? So here you characterize your audience to better customize the content. So first, try to scan through the poster, the conference website. You will know the kind of people who will be attending. The next thing is that you have to know the different levels of knowledge and interest of the people. So imagine that you are attending interdisciplinary poster session or conference, then you will know what kind of people will be attending. So this will help you to design your poster to capture the attention of others. Now, after analyzing, you just have to ask yourself some questions. So first, what are the concepts and terms that you are supposed to define? Remember, if you are going for a conference that is wide, like multidisciplinary conferences, you should know that not everybody will understand the terms and concepts in your field. So then you should identify those terms that are not universally understood by everyone. Then you define them. Okay, don't define everything, but those things that you know that may not be universally understood, you should define them. Then you should decide what are the visual aids. So remember, you've done your research, you have all the figures in your file. So you shouldn't dump everything, all the things with the fear that if I don't put this, I don't put that, people wouldn't understand. No, just decide on which one can capture the attention and which one can best communicate the project or the research that you have designed. Then the last one is that this is what most people miss when they go for conferences. Take home message. So imagine that you have put everything on your poster. So I come to your poster, I'm scanning through your work. I don't see anything that tells me straightforward about your work. So please try as much as possible to highlight the main message of your work. Highlight the main message of your work. And this is what will make your poster great. So we have decided how to do our poster. So now let's go to the practical session. And I believe that most people are waiting for this session. So for this session, I would ask members to follow me whilst I do the work. So here I'm going to first design a traditional poster and then design a modified poster. So at this point, I would allow for 2 questions before I proceed.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah, Yes. So we
All
have
right.
Delali Chengdu.
Hello, Doc. I think our brother wants to ask a question. So when he's done, I'll ask mine. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who is asking?
All right. Thank you, Doc. Please, with a highlight, is it that with something, for example, is it that to catch attention or just the write-up, the editing, and then the formatting that should be considered as the highlight? For example, if you have anything, for example, preparing a poster on practical sessions of designing a poster, should the heading be what the highlight should concentrate on, or the font design? Either you want to make it bold, you want to make it colored, you want to, or it is just that the topic should highlight something special for whoever sees it to know that this is what is interested in, or this is the focus of your work.
Right. Thank you. So here is a combination of whatever you have said now. So first of all, it should be the main message. So the main message, first put the main message there. And then you have to choose fonts or colors that will be bright enough, not eye-pricking, but legible enough to capture the attention. So remember that maybe you have several innovations in your work and you want to bullet them. So in the bullet section, these ones should be maybe made bold, or you should find a way to highlight them so that even if I'm standing far away, I will know whatever you have put there. So when I come to your poster straight ahead, I see what you have done. That is the first thing I will read before I'll go to maybe method or something else.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hello.
We have last person. Okay, yeah, hello.
Okay. Thank you very much, Doc. This is very insightful. I have a question about so when you said in your presentation, you did mention that the poster is not a long paper, as in it's just one page something. I think if I heard you right.
Yes,
So
yes.
then does that how different, or should I say, what's the difference between that and then let's say a conference, should I say PPT? Like, what's the diff? Will you be presenting the poster like the way you'll be presenting a PPT, or you'll be submitting it for publication?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for this question. I thought maybe that question will come after this, but since you have mentioned it, poster and then doing presentation is quite different. Now, the difference is that a poster does not allow you to give all the things that you have done. A poster is just, let's say, a visual abstract, okay? A poster is a visual abstract of the work you have done. But when you are doing a presentation at a conference, then you are expected to present the work as though you've written it in the conference paper. So for instance, if you take a poster and then you take a conference presentation, what happens is that the poster will be part of your conference presentation. So it's going to be like the abstract. So basically, you extract your abstract from your conference presentation and make it in the form of what? A poster. So this is the main difference. I will have time to go into details, but I don't know if I've explained it succinctly for you. So the poster
Doc.
is, hello?
Hello, Doc. It seems you've not really explained it more detail for us. We confused. If you can come again and touch on the virtual presentation as well. Thank you.
Okay. So you want me to talk about the virtual presentation? All right.
Yes, and then explain more on the poster and the conference PPT as well, because I believe that for the next 2 years we'll be doing virtual conferences here and there until
Okay, let me quickly explain it. I will, if time permit, maybe at the end I will explain it. But what I want to say is that a poster and a conference presentation, the difference is that the poster is the abstract of your paper. So the poster is the visual abstract of your paper. Okay, but the presentation is everything you have done step by step, okay, into details. It contains more details. So in that presentation, you'll be given like 20 minutes to explain yourself, explain the work that you have done. But the poster is supposed to capture everything in a small area. So if you're going to read the paper, what do you do first? You read the abstract, right? And once you read the abstract gives you an idea of what the main paper is. Okay, so maybe to not go too much, I would like to continue with the practical session. Then we'll come back to that, and I'll have more time to explain. Okay. I know you guys are anxious. Yes, you're anxious to know this. So let me finish, then we'll go back to that. Okay. So if you are ready, we can just go to, so if everyone is ready, we can go to this part. So a traditional poster, what does it contain? So a traditional poster will look like this. So you have a title, and mostly the font is 85 points. And then you have affiliation. Now remember, the title should contain your main point. It should contain your main project, the idea of your main project. So that if I'm standing far away and I even see your poster, when I read your title, it should capture my attention. It should tell me what you have done, what you are doing. Okay. The next thing is that you have, so if you are designing a poster, the traditional poster, it can be in a portrait form or it can be in a landscape. So this, what I'm presenting to you, is a landscape form. So it contains like about 3 sessions or 4 sessions. So here you have introduction and hypothesis. You have your goals. You have method. Then in the middle part, you put all your work, like the results and whatever the images and the tables that you want to give. So here too, you can put your some of your results. Then the final part is you have a conclusion. Now the conclusion normally supposed to be in bullet form. The conclusion should capture the models that you have used. It should capture the main message of your work. Then optionally, you can put acknowledgement or QR code. The QR code should be directed to your paper. It should be directed to your paper. Please, we are not asking questions now, so let me continue.
Please, we want to follow you. So which software is that? Is it PowerPoint or?
Oh, yes, sorry. I have not started that part yet, but it's PowerPoint. It's PowerPoint. It's PowerPoint. I'm just giving you the introduction here. Okay. All right. So now that we have finished with this one, let me go to a blank poster. Okay, can you guys see my blank page?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
It's,
Yes,
okay, I'm using PPT. I'm using PPT. I'm using PPT. Okay, so let me set up my, okay. All right, so now let's begin. So this is, so first you open your PPT, you clear all this, okay? And then the next thing you should do is that there is a part on your ribbon. You go to design. Are you all there? Okay. Now, when you go to design, the next thing you see at the far right side of your PPT, slide size. Can you see slide size? And please, if I'm going too fast, let me know, okay? This is a practical session. Then on the slide size, go to customize. Now, in this customize session, I believe maybe before you design your poster, you might have gone through the requirements of the poster. So what is required? Usually they will require A0. And A0 is the standard size for A0 is 33.1 for the width. That is if it's portrait or landscape. And then 46.8 height. So imagine that I'm having a portrait or a landscape. It's going to be like this. If I have a landscape, it will be like this. Okay, it's going to be like this. Now, when I click on OK, it asks me whether to maximize, but because there's nothing on the slide, so it doesn't matter. You just click on maximize. So you have a blank space like this. Now, before you begin, what I did was that first, I created my own abstract. So I'll show you my abstract. I'll show you my abstract. So sure. So can you see my abstract? So I designed my own abstract like this. So with each of the sessions. So what I did was that I'll just copy this information, okay, all this information from my abstract to my, so this we are doing traditional poster design. This is what everybody does for over 35 years now. So we are doing that. And when we do the modified one, you can decide which one is optimal and which one is best. So what I do is that I'll just copy the information, and then let me see, where's my, so I'll just keep pasting. So I paste my title here. And remember, we said the title should be about 80 something. Okay, so I just post it like this, you know, and sometimes do it something like this. Okay, now, so I wouldn't bother you with all this thing. I will just copy and paste everything, and then you can see. Okay. Guys, are you following? I want to know so that I can.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I copied everything and pasted it here. So you can see how small it is. So here, I'll just increase the font. Now, remember, when you are designing traditional traditional poster, it should start from the left to right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So anything that you are doing, it should be within that format that I showed you before. So I have to cut the affiliation. Cut the affiliation, put it here, and I have background, results, conclusion. So I can copy this. Cut this one, make this one this way, and then paste it here. Okay, so you remember the format I showed you, so you can see it's resembling the format. Then after I've done this, I need to resize. So remember, we said this one should be 85. This one should be about 50. Something like this. Okay. Remember, your affiliation should not be bigger than your heading. It should not be bigger than your title. So here you have you have the names. Okay, you can copy the author names. So something like this. They should be in the same size. Then after you have finished doing this, what you should do is that now you need to put some images. You need to put some images on it. So what I did was to, so this is just the beginning of everything. What I did was to just pick look for some images. So like my school, I put my school image here, or sometimes you can put it down here. And then so here you need to put your headings, and then make these bullet form. Okay, make all this in bullet form. Okay, then I can move this one out of this and then create another one. If you want the same thing to happen, you just click on it and go to the brush and then click on it to be the same. So it's that easy. Here should be 35 or maybe 40. Go to the brush and do this. Okay. Then okay. Then I do the same thing for this guy also. Just click on this one, go to the brush, and then increase it. Take this one off. Okay. So maybe you can take one of your work and then follow me. Okay. In this way, you will understand everything I'm saying. Now, most of you may think that, oh, when the time comes, I'll be able to do it. But I bet you, when the time comes, it will be confusing more than what we are doing now. So the thing looks like this. The thing looks like this. So this is just the basic format of it. So I will look for certain things that I want it to be like a bullet. Okay, so I said this one should be a bullet. Okay, and so if I okay, something like this. Now, let me also do this to be clear. So whatever I'm doing, that's what I did for my last conference. But this is not the optimal one. And so at the end of the day, we will all see that this is not the optimal way to design, but definitely this is the old method that people use all the time. Okay. Maybe I can move my thing here. Okay, now that we have all this, remember, we are saying that it should have something in between. Okay, it should have something in between. So we have something like this, so we can put others here. So sometimes what you can do is that in this format, you can just go to shapes and choose a border. So I chose this border, go here, choose another border, here, choose another border, choose another border, just to make things right for me. Now, this is the basic way how it should look like. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you the finished one, because this is how I began my work. So I will share the one that I did for my presentation in a recently ended conference. So let me share that one to you, and then you can appreciate whatever. So it looks like this. Can you all see?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now you can see that in my case, in the case that I did for this one, it's 2 rows. Okay, now how to do this is very simple. So what you just do is that when you click on the box, okay, when you click on the box, you have to decide, first of all, deciding the font. So you can see that if I print this one out and I print it out and then I put it on my poster for everyone to see, it might not be very clear. So sometimes you can choose to change the background. Okay, you can choose to change the background. So for instance, you can use fill, okay, to change the background pictures. Okay, so usually you have to be careful not to choose backgrounds that are eye-piercing, okay, so that people can see well. Now, if you choose green, then you should understand that what appears most clearly on green backgrounds. You have to also understand that if you use colors that are too eye-piercing, nobody will stand there. Nobody will stand there and then listen to you, or nobody will even visit your gallery. So what I did here, to me, is a very bad design. And so to improve it, you just have to, you can use this way, okay? You can use this way. Something like this. If you want all of them to be the same, you just go to home and go to brush. They'll all look like this, okay? Change the color and all that. So when you are designing, you make sure that you have these following ingredients. Now, look at my design. I put the method here, just below the method figure, just below my method. This is a very optimal way to design, because then when somebody is reading, the person can read this one, go to the method, and then see your figure method. Now, what's the temptation is that this one can be transformed into characters or words. But if I put these words here, it will be too much. Even already, this poster looks too much wordy. So we can actually transform some of the things into images. So that is when you can put flowcharts, for instance. You can put flowcharts. So for instance, in this my method section, I could have designed a flowchart easily, put the flowchart there and put this one beside it. So it's going to be something like this. Let me share a whiteboard. So it's going to be something like this. We have this is the method box, okay, contains several things. So I could just use a flowchart, okay, and say the first part, I recruited this number of people. Next, I put some criteria. If yes, if no, okay, then I did something like this, and then now come to the final number of people I have recruited, which I put in 3 columns. So all this thing looks very nice compared to this, and this, because reading this and then this one is too cumbersome. Nobody will have the time to come and be reading. We search the literature for functional, blah, 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 and then we perform comparison. Nobody will spend time in doing that, in going through that for you. So you have to remember, change your method into a figure. Change your method into a figure. Now, for the results section, you can see in my results section, I have bulleted it, but this same thing is this. So why should I do this and this? So it's not optimal. It's not optimal. So what I could have done is to delete this part, and then put here, results. Everybody can come and see these results. By looking at the method, people can just go and see my results. It is an interesting thing. I don't need to be afraid that if I don't put words, what this one means, nobody cares about that. what people cares about is what results do you have? If they need you to explain, they will ask you during the poster session. They will ask you. So design a poster that will attract the attention of people passing by, or design a poster that people can go into your virtual gallery and then read, and it will be appealing to them. So this thing that I did was a pure flop. So this is the way most people design their presentation or their poster. This is the traditional way of designing a poster, which to me and to some researchers recently is not the optimal way. Remember, you are, let me go back to the whiteboard. So remember that during the post, so this is your poster, and then you are standing here. Another person's poster, the person is standing here, and so on and so forth. Now, the one passing by, okay, is trying to glance through whatever you have done. Now, if your thing is too wordy, and this guy then has some few words and then images, few words and images, definitely they will visit this person's poster instead of yours. Meanwhile, maybe maybe the things you have written is actually interesting. It can cure, maybe you have written something that can cure cancer, a new method you have brought up that can cure the world disease or even COVID. But because it is too wordy and too clumsy, nobody will find the time to, even if somebody comes here, the person will just come and look and then move to this person. So this is the person who is going to be engaged more. So what I did was actually not the optimal way to do your PPT. This is the traditional way. And I intentionally brought it so that you guys will know that we don't design PPT, we don't design posters like this anymore. We don't design posters like this anymore. So from the design point of view, let's go back to our beginning design. So this is the design point of view. So from here, what I just did was that, so you find a background, you go to this one, find a background, you know, and go home, find a background. What you should do is that usually your this should match this. So everything you have done should match. So what you should do is that sometimes you just click on this button, just click on this box. Okay. Now after clicking on the box, you can go to format, click on format, and then you go to height or whatever. You can give, let's say, 13. Okay. And then go to the brush, hold on the shift key, and then click on this. Click on this one, and I think this is 13. Okay, and then you can see that the alignment has shifted. You can just hold this one, go to alignment, and then maybe center like this. So it looks like this. So you can do the same thing. Okay, just click on this one, go to home, go to brush, click on it, go to brush, click on it. It looks like this. Now, the other thing that you could do is that go to insert. When you go to insert, go to the shapes, put one here. Looks like this. Now you can see that it's becoming nicer as we move forward. It's becoming nicer. What you can do now is that you can take everything out of the, you can change the background. Sorry. You can change the background to something like this. Now here you can put your results. So I can just put any result. So you go to my, let me check what I have, something on my device. I can just click on this and go to this. Okay, and put my results here. Okay, put my results here. Okay, put my results here. And then give a brief definition of the results. Give a brief definition of the results. So here, what you can also do here is that you could just also go to insert, go to shapes, and then find different shape. So something like a rectangle inside here, okay? And then you can put your definition. So I could say, let me see, insert this. I could just write these left image. Oh, let me see, change the font. I could just say maybe left image shows brain regions that are affected by cannabis. Something like this, okay? So I can put something like this here. So I don't need much things to write here. I can change the font to, let's say, white. Okay. Something like this. And then so on and so forth. So you can see that it is becoming live. The things are becoming live here. Now, you can also add something like reference, but adding reference is optional. So you can see in this PPT, in this poster, when you come to this poster, the first thing that appeals to you is this image, right? Is this image. So everybody will come and then look at your image before even going to maybe your background or whatever. So putting the images and then minimizing the text content is very important for posters. Very important for posters. And so for this one, this is the general outlook of a traditional PPT or a traditional poster. So I will stop here and then ask for questions for just the traditional poster. Then we can move to the next step.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
I think somebody is asking about the canvas size.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let
can
me
you
check.
please drop it in the chat box? Thank you.
Please, can you drop the slide? Can you drop the slide size you applied here? Oh, okay. So it's A0, okay, it's A0. A0 is 33.1. That is if it is portrait, by 46 by 8 inches. A0. Please, did you say that the definition and performance metric is not important? No. I mean to say that if you put, so for instance, if you are defining the performance metric and you put too much words, just like the way you wrote it in the paper, then it will not attract people. So what you should do is that you either summarize it and put it in the form of bullets, or if possible, transform these definitions into flowcharts. This will capture the interest of the people. Okay, so I'm not saying that it is not important. It is important, but you should not put too much work because nobody will have the time to read everything. For instance, you've written for performance metric, for instance, you've written like 150 words on the poster. Nobody will have time to read it. That's the reality. After the title and affiliation of author, you divide the page into two. How did you do that? Okay. So let me go back to the design. Okay, here. So okay, let me attend to Adam's first. Adam. So Adam, this is what I did. So after I did this one, after I put this one here, okay, because this is a landscape, I have a vision that it's supposed to be 3 columns. So because I copied and pasted everything. So let me go back to everything and then you can see. Okay. So here what I did was to copy everything. Okay, so let me give a new slide. Let me go over this again. Delete. Go to design. Go to standard. Okay, so I go to customize and change this one to 33.1 and then change this one to 46.8 and I need it in landscape and go to okay. Then I go and copy everything, go back here, paste it. So this is everything, So this is everything I want to put on my poster. So what I did is just cut this one, paste it here. Okay. Now I need 3 columns. So I removed from results to conclusion, cut it, and then put this one here. And then put this one here. Okay. All right. So now I have 2 columns, 3 columns, but 2 of the columns are filled. Now it looks like a column here. Then the next thing is that I wanted to have headings. So what I do is that I'll just take up this, okay, paste it back, okay. Take this, paste it back like this, and then leave this one this way. Now, the headings are supposed to be separate, okay? So maybe for you to see it clearly, you just increase it to 54. So I have 54, and click here, 54. So put it under it, okay? And okay, maybe let me reduce it to, let's say 40 or 48. Okay, so I have something like this and this. Like this. So basically I'm creating my columns. So I have this. And remember, all the fonts should be the same. And I have something like this. And then this way. Okay. So this is how come I had three columns. Now remember, you want to have 3 columns because you want to put you want to put some results here. So just like this one. Okay. Now I have showed you how to do this. So what you do is that, so first you just remove this part, put it here. And according to the rules that I've showed you already, these headings are supposed to be 35. So let's say 36, or let's say 40, something like this is fine. And you can go to format and then change the background and it will look like this. And this one also, it's okay. All right. Any other question? Is there any difference between poster presentation and oral presentation? Yes, I think I have said that already, but let me iterate it. So poster presentation is the same as oral presentation, but the difference is that in poster sessions, you are allowed to interact with anyone who attended the conference. So this one is question to answer. But oral presentation is when you have designed a PPT and you are standing in front of all the researchers, presenting everything, and then now they will give a stipulated duration for people to ask you questions. Okay, so that's the main difference. So in poster presentation, you are just standing beside your poster, and then attendees will be passing by, okay? And then when your poster catches the eye of people, they will approach you and then ask you questions based on what they've seen on your poster. But in oral presentation, you are given a time to present. So let's say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then you are given a time to respond to questions. Am I clear? This is another question that I was expecting. So here, before I explained that a poster is a graphical abstract of the work that you have done during the conference. So you have an abstract, you are transforming your abstract into a visualization. But here, the difference between general graphical abstract and then poster is that general graphical abstract will contain more images, So such as you have even in the flow chart, the images that you put there will be kind of more than the words that you put inside there. Usually, some journals will ask you not to put any word, just label them. So you have pictures, just pictures or figures with their labels, and that's all, no words. But for posters, although it's a graphical abstract, you are allowed to put text inside. So that is the main difference of it. I can look for an example for you to see. So whilst I do that, I can wait for a question. Then I can go to the modified version of poster design. Okay, it's not compulsory, it depends on the journal. I've submitted to 1 or 2 journals who asked me to submit a graphical abstract, but it's becoming common these days. It's becoming common these days that journals will ask you to provide graphical abstract. The reason being is that they use the graphical abstract as your main figurehead in your in the journal volume, and then the issue. So when you open the journal issue, the main figurehead of the issue will be there. When you click on it, each of them will have a topic, and then each of the titles will have an image, and this image is your graphical abstract. So it's not compulsory, but it's becoming common, very, very common these days. Very, very common these days. Yeah. Oh, yes. During poster presentation, you will speak only when you are asked questions. So imagine that your poster doesn't look nice, then you stand there for 30 minutes and nobody will care to come to you, and then you feel bored and disappointed, and you feel that your work is not so important, and then you just take off your poster and then dump it somewhere and then thinking about the amount of time you have invested in it is so heartbreaking. So it is important that you design a very eye-catchy poster, and then very informative poster. Yes, it can be, but please be careful. If you use too many too many colors, it will distract people. So people will, the attendees will see, okay, it's nice, but unless maybe the section that contains your main message, the color there is it outshines all other colors. So all other colors will be at the background, and then your main one will be in front of it. Like I've told you, look at my poster. It looks very somehow simple, you know, doesn't contain too many colors, but it also doesn't look nice. It doesn't attract people. So yes, you can use multiple colors just to attract people, but be careful, otherwise you may lose the you know, people will get bored. They'll say too much colors, we cannot see, blah, 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 and all that. Yeah. All right, so if there isn't any other question, please, what will be the maximum word of the poster per your experience? Well, I cannot pinpoint, I cannot tell you exactly the maximum words, but I think that when you do everything in the form of a bullet, when you do like the way I did mine, obviously it contains too many words, but once I've bulleted it, it looks a little bit appealing. I think that for most abstracts, most general abstracts, it's between 200 to 250 words for abstract. So if you can transform all these 200 and 250 abstract into one poster, then that's good. But I think that maybe it should be lower than 80, I think. Okay, let me answer you this question by going back to my main PPT. Okay, it is not advisable, please. It is not advisable. So here I have, please, can you see my PPT? So here I have things that you don't need to do, you don't have to do. So here, bright colors. So Abby, your question, whether you should use multiple colors, is okay. But if the color is too, look at this color. The poster title is blue, and then the main content is yellow. It doesn't really look professional. Look at this also, the background is an image. I mean, what are you trying to say? What's your main, what do you want to communicate? Besides the image at the background, nobody cares about it. Nobody is seeing it. Okay, nobody is seeing it. So it's not advisable. And then look at this design. Look at the last design. You have red title, background blue, and then white. It is not advisable. This one, as I'm even looking at it, it is piercing my eyes. I don't know for others, but it is too bright. So you should be careful. Do not use images for your background. But this next one that I'm going to design for you, you will see the difference, whether to use image background or not. So shall we move on? Okay. All right, so let's move on to modified posters. So why do we need modified posters? So here, first, we want to maximize insight without losing the content. Okay, maximize insight without losing the content. So we want few things on the poster, but then it should communicate whatever we want. Then the second one is highlight only the good stuff. Highlight only the good stuff. You know, highlight the main question and then the main solution. The main, so if people want to ask questions, they will ask you. Poster sessions are questions and answer sessions. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid that if you don't put the whole thing on the poster, nobody will understand. Do not be afraid of that. Put the good stuff there. If people want to ask you further questions, they will ask. The next thing is that save design time for more practice. So if you are spending like 2 weeks to design a poster, and let's say the conference session is in the 3rd week, you will not have time to practice. You don't have time to practice. So it's good that you have less design time and then more practice time. So this is the optimum way to design a poster. First, need to know should come first. Nice to know should go below. So this is the main way to design a poster. Need to know. So need to know means the important things should be highlighted. It should be the main thing on the poster. And then something that is very nice, like you want to show some, nice things. That one can be, something that will come later. Okay. So this is how I want us to go. So now let me give you a background of this. So the first thing that you need to do is, let me clean all this. Where is the eraser? Okay. So this is the modern design. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, modern design. The modern design, we have, this is your page. Okay. Now this page in the middle should have your main message. Your main message. Then on the left side, you have a sidebar. Okay. The right side should have a sidebar. So normally this is where you stand. Let's say this is where you are standing beside your poster. This is where you stand beside your poster. So this one should be maybe some method. And then this one should be, let's say, some figure or some table you want to show, maybe 2 of them or 3. And this one should be the method bullet form like this. Now, this one looks a little bit like the one I showed you, but let me share a PPT for you to look at. So, where's the share button? Okay. Share. Okay, please, can you all see? Can you see this? Okay. When you see this poster, what comes to your mind? So this poster says average global temperature from 1850 to 2018. And the bars there shows the temperature rise, simple. And below it, there is a QR code. And this QR code is directed to the person's where he or she has published a paper, that paper. Okay. Now, let me show you another one. So here we have the main thing. So you put the main thing goes here, some image, your QR code, and then some title here, and then some graphs. When you meet something like this, this is the most optimal way. So when the person approaches, so for instance, let me show you very nice, let me see. Okay. Something like this. So in this poster contains so many things, but the main message is in the middle. So when I approach this poster, please, can you see? Hello?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry. So here you can see that in the middle, this is the message. This is the whole message. The person does not need to put so many. So if the attendee, the person who is approaching your poster really needs to know what you have done, the person will go closer to the left-hand side to check. And then the person doesn't understand something, the person will come close to you here and then ask you the question. But this is the most important thing that you have to show. This is the most important thing you have to show. So let me redesign my old PPT, my old poster in this format. Let's see which one is better.
Yes.
So let me go back to sharing this one. So let's go back to this. So we'll use the same formula. So here we'll go to design. So, okay, let's go to new slide. So we'll delete everything here. And we'll go to design, go to slide size. Now you can see there are some ratio here. This means that when you project it on the screen, how should it look like? So you can as well choose any of this one, okay, and go to like this. So it means when it's projected, it will look like this. When it's projected, it looks like this. Now, let me recopy everything, okay, and then paste it on my, so we have this. Let me increase the font. So, increase the font. So here, I'm looking for my main message. So I need to browse through my main message. What is my main message? What is my main message? okay, I look at my conclusion. It says the results suggest addiction characterized blah, blah, blah. So here, I can copy only this one. Okay, cut it. Now paste it here. Increase the, remove this conclusion and say my research, okay, this research suggests that, okay, this is the main thing. Now, so let me, and and also I want to remind you that when you are setting the font, please don't use fonts like this. The main font should be sans serif. So sans serifs are like the Times New Roman. You know, they have some, sans serifs are fonts that have some feet. So you can see like the T, they have some feet there. So I put this one in the middle, like this. And then now, the method, what I do is that, let me, sorry. Okay, it's too big. Okay, I'll delete this one. Okay, so it is in the middle this way. Now I can change the background. No, here. Or maybe go to fill. Well, in a way, it depends on the color you're going to use. So just be careful and change this one to, let's say, white. Let me see. Does it look okay? No, maybe. Then I go back to here, I put my title, which is very important. Very important. Like this. Now here comes the trick. Here comes the trick. So here, what I do is that I'll take something like this. Put it here. Now, let me look at, so I can pick these two and then place them here. Uh-oh, what just happened? Can change the background here to, let's say, outline. And method. Put the method here. And make it bullets. Okay. Uh-oh. This one should be. Then I can insert my logo somewhere here and insert, let's say, my handsome face somewhere here. And I could, so maybe you can change the background of this one also. Change it to be this one. Could be, there could be a nicer one, but I think, and make sure it aligns here. Now, if I want to put some graphs, okay, or something, I'll put it here. If I want to put some method, I'll put it here. Now you could, in this one, just choose this, go to bullet. You can change the bullet color, okay, and you can increase the size of the bullets. Let's say 400, something like this, so that it becomes more. You can, okay, something like this, like this. Now I can also have my QR. Okay, so you can just go to Google and then generate QR. You can go to Google and then generate your QR. Okay, this is very easy to do these days. Have your QR to the work that you have done, or maybe to maybe your research gate. Why does every time computer needs to ask me whether I'm a robot? Uh-oh. All right. So I think. So I think you can put your QR, maybe I'm trying to get my QR, but the computer is still asking me if I'm a robot or something. So you can put your QR here. QR. Like this. Now if you want to add the affiliation and maybe those things, they could also be QR, but actually you don't really need to dwell too much on that. So what you just have to do is that you have to create a small space, just a small space, okay? Here, here's a small space here, okay? And you could add the sponsors and all that, you know, all that you need below, or you can put the affiliation URL down here, okay, down here, because people will look at this and then look at your results, and then so if you compare, let me delete this. If you compare this and that, you can see that when I approach the poster, this is what catch my attention. This research suggests that addiction is characterized by blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then this is what will pull people. Then people can now ask me, what did you do? What did you do? If they cannot come to me, they could just go to the left-hand side, look at the way I did it. Okay. Here also, you can put the flow chart that I talked about. You could put the flow chart here. Okay, instead of this lengthy word, you can put the flow chart here and then put this. So you will see that all the poster will contain more of images and then less of text. But the most important thing is that your take-home message is this one. This is my take-home message. So when everybody comes to my session, the person looks at this and then knows exactly my results. If the person is interested to know what I did, the person can go to the left-hand side, look at it, okay? Or if the person wants to let me explain more, the person can just walk to me. So this is how a very optimized poster is supposed to be designed. This is how it's supposed to be designed. You do not have to use this method, this old method. You know, compare this because remember I told you the poster session, people are just passing by, or when even you are giving an oral presentation, you should make sure that you have more of the figures than the text, because nobody cares about the text. People want to listen to you, not to read. Already people want the conference to be over quickly so that they can go out with their friends and have some tea or something, some food somewhere. If you have attended conferences before, you know what I'm talking about. People want to socialize academically. People want to, you know, create the network. People want to do collaboration. So this is the main interest. So nobody will waste his or her time looking at all your text. But now, if I'm even standing 6 feet away, I look at your big title, the next thing I will see is your main results, your main take-home message. Then I'll quickly come close to you. And then now I can capture your attention. So this is the exact thing that I'm talking about, the modern way of, so this method was designed by a group of scientists who are now they have actually set up what do you call it? A question and answer session where they are asking people to find their experience when they use this new method and then the old method. And indeed, research has shown that it's been published. I will later on find the publications, but published that this method is far greater or important than the 35 years old method. All right, so I'll pause here and then ask for questions. We have some few minutes to go. Okay, maybe before that, let me go to my concluding slide, then we can all be on the same side, and then so the next thing is that the last tip is that if you are having a visual poster, it should be short. So 22 to 5 minutes verbal description of your work. You should practice with any colleague that you have. And also there is some, WebEx, but I think WebEx is not allowed in China also. So you can use this platform also. And also you have to make sure, be on time and check your slides and audios, because I remember when I attended a virtual poster, some of them were having problems. When they were doing the live presentation, they were having problems. And also you have to submit on record time. So the conclusion is that if you have too much materials, too much text, poor layout, blocks of text longer than 10 sentences, waiting until last minute to prepare, neglecting to prepare your oral presentation, no practice session. These are the killer mistakes that you are likely to do when you are preparing a poster or even oral presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will ask for your questions, both for the traditional and then the modified version of poster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Please, if anybody has a question, we can use the raise hand button or leave very much, the questions with the chat icon. Okay. If anybody has a question, we can use the raise the chat icon. Okay. Hello.
Yes, there is someone. B. Gills. Moderator. Okay, Bill Gills, you can ask your question.
Okay, Doc. Actually, I don't have any question. I was just applauding you, and thanks for the presentation. It's very clear. For now, I think I'm okay.
All right. Thank you too. Thank you. So you have to kind of decide whether to use the modern presentation or modern poster or the traditional poster. But I want to tell you, do not be afraid. I mean, I've also been there where I'm wondering, hey, if I don't put this message, if I don't put this text, how will they understand and all that? I didn't know. But honestly, when you go for poster sessions, you feel bored. You'll be standing there and no one is even looking into your eyes. You just be standing there for 20 minutes and 30 minutes and people are passing by, discussing with others, and you're just standing there. No one seems to notice you. And so it is important to design a PPT, a poster that catches the attention of the attendees. And even if you are if you are doing an oral presentation, don't put too much text, because oral presentation is actually for you to express, just like when somebody approaches your poster and asks you the question. So this time around, you are presenting. After that, somebody will ask you the question. So make sure you put only the relevant things on the PPT when you are doing oral presentation. Relevant things on the PPT. Don't put too much information. Too much information will not score you anything. Will not score you anything. But also remember, as I told you, need to know first, nice to know last. Need to know first, nice to know last. So do not prepare your PPT or your poster very fancy, in a very fancy way that's not in the end of at the end of the day does not communicate whatever you are doing. Otherwise, even if you do oral presentation, people will just be sitting down. Now remember, if you do oral presentation and no one asks you question, it's a danger. Don't think that, oh, everybody understands whatever I've presented, so no question. This is a danger. If you present and there is no question, meaning that highly likely that nobody understands what you are doing or nobody cares what you are doing because your presentation does not catch their attention. Yeah, Miss B.
Doc, good evening and thank you for your presentation. It was really educative. Please, my question is, how does one get his or her poster presentation to be published? What criteria? Because I said the person just stands by the poster, people just pass around. Maybe some will come to ask questions, some will just pass by, see your goods. Like, so.
Sorry. There is some background, so please, I cannot hear you clearly. Miss B.
Hello.
Yeah, now it's fine. Now it's fine. You could ask. You can ask the question.
Okay. So my question, I was also applauding you for the presentation. It was educative. Thank you so much for your time and the knowledge shared. So the question was, how does one get his or her poster presentation to be published?
Okay.
Given that you just stand by a poster, people pass about. So is there a committee that watches the number of people that comes by each poster, or I don't know, how is it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also had the same question when I wanted to attend a conference. So actually, before you attend a conference, you submit an abstract. So when your abstract is accepted, then this abstract will be submitted to a magazine. So they call it a conference magazine. So you have a very big book for the conference. So your abstract will be there. And then, so that means, so the first point is that you submit your abstract, they look at your abstract, they accept your abstract. So that means your poster has been, your idea has been accepted or your research has been accepted. Then you'll be asked to submit a poster or do oral presentation. So the publication side that you're talking about is the book that I'm talking about. So all those people whose work has been accepted, their work will be printed in that book, and possibly sometime they will submit it to an online repository where people can go and then see. So that is the publication. But if it is like they've given you are supposed to present a whole conference paper plus a poster, then that means the whole conference paper as accepted will be published in, let's say, a journal or in that conference. But your poster session might or might not be published anywhere. So it is this way. If there is no paper presentation, then you will be given the chance to submit your poster and then they will upload it. Yeah. I don't know if I answered you, if my answer is enough, or somebody is asking.
But I thought that the poster presentation comes out of the main text you have written. It comes out of your main paper.
Yes.
Isn't it?
So yes, so that's what I'm saying, that in some cases, they will just, the journal at the conference will just say, we need abstract posters. So abstract. So you submit just abstract, not the full paper. So you submit just abstract, and this abstract will be accepted. Then you'll be asked to have a poster where you discuss this with others. So after that, your abstract will be put in the book or uploaded to a repository and published. But the publication is not the same as when it's a full paper. Okay, so there is a full paper session also. So this full paper session, so normally when you submit your abstract, they can accept based on categories. So they will say, oh, this group of people, we are accepting their full paper. This group of people, we are accepting only their abstract. This group of people, they are only doing poster presentation. This group of people, they are only doing orals. So these are the dynamics of conferences. That's why sometimes some people don't like conferences, actually, some people, but these are the dynamics of conferences. All right. It seems we have only seen the poster design on landscape. I will like to see the modern design on portrait. Oh, okay. I think it will take the, oh yes, I will share the PPT with you, but I think that the main design will be the same. The main design will be, if it's in the portrait form, the main design, but most importantly, in the modern one, the middle part should contain your main message. The middle part should contain your main message. So then you can have only two sides. So you have one side for the main message and then another side for your small things that you want to put there. So that will be like 2 columns. That will be like 2 columns.
Thank you, Doctor. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you for the nice presentation. You have presented on the old poster design and then the modified posters. From my own perspective, it looks like the old poster design is more captive and more informative from my own perspective. Is it still accepted to use the old poster design, or one needs to modify it?
Okay, so let me I'll answer this way. It's accepted. Actually, so when you go for poster sessions, the traditional one will be the most things that everybody will be doing. But let me remind you again, when I began, I said poster sessions are supposed to be questions and answers. So attendees need to be captured by the things they see on your poster before they can even approach you and ask, oh, what is this? What is that? So if you use the old method and you put a whole bunch of things there, nobody will be interested in reading all those things. And there is a likelihood that your main message may even be lost in those texts. To you, you have put the main message there. But when I'm looking at it, when I'm looking at the poster, it looks a lot. That is why the new design is that let me highlight big my main work. Then those other things that I needed to show, like the method and all that, should be just something small. So if really somebody wants to ask me a question, the person will approach me based on what the person has seen. Then when the person approaches me on my poster, then he or she will be able to know, okay, what is this? What is that? Rather than he or she himself going to read everything one by one. So that is the reason, it is this particular modified one is an experiment. And like I said, it's been published. This idea has been published. I will find the link and then post it. It's been published that this is a better way than the old way. Looking at how many people will approach you to ask you questions. So if you look at my big poster and everything you see is a lot of text and it contains like my whole paper, I mean, nobody will have the time to check. Unless maybe your title is something like new, like, oh, we found the overall COVID vaccine. That's why everybody will rush to your poster. But if it is not that serious, trust me, I've been to several poster sessions and it's heartbreaking. It's like what you've done, nobody sees it. nobody cares about it. So yes, you can use the old one, but please try and then do some small research on this modern one and see for yourself. See how best you can modify the old one to this new one. I hope I have my answer is satisfactory enough. Okay, Abby is asking conference and journal publication, which one is better? Well, it depends on the area, number one. So most engineering, typical engineering fields would rather have you go for conferences than journals. But like the sciences, most of the sciences would prefer journals. So as to whether which one carries more weight or which one carries more credits, I cannot say, but in my own experience, when you go for conferences, if you have a conference paper, then it's assumed that you have interacted with experts in the field. And this can beef up your CV. This can beef up your CV. But as to whether this can add anything to your academic scores, that one, it depends on your school or the field that you're in. For instance, in my field, brain imaging and then neuroscience, we prefer to submit our papers to journals and then go for conferences for our new ideas. So the conferences that you see some of us go is not to, let's say, it's not because of the weight of it, but it's because we want to see the new things that is happening in the field. But for engineering, okay, typical engineering field, conferences are very, very, very important. Even some people, they will not allow you to submit your paper to a journal. They will say conference, because engineering is something that goes on every time, and then new engineering method comes out, and especially like the method parts. So they need you to go for conferences and then present and then interact with others. So that is it. For, let's say, the social sciences, I don't really know, but social sciences, most of them will be journals. I think so. Okay. If the moderator is there, we can check if there are more questions you can ask, then I'll just give like 5 minutes more, and then we can wrap up.
Hello.
Okay, for computer science, I think it is 50-50. Computer science, if you are in something like very theoretical computer science, then if you are in theoretical computer science, then I would think that journals will be is much accepted. But if you are into this application, then conferences, definitely conferences. But the theoretical computer sciences, they would prefer to go for journals than conferences. Because, you know, conference, one thing about conference is that conference doesn't go through the rigorous peer-to-peer, peer-based checking. So most people will say it's not that important, you know. Yeah. Okay, thank you to Abby. Any other question? The video will be shared, and then the PPT will also be shared, so don't worry. Okay, is the moderator there?
Yes, Doctor, I'm still here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor, for making time out of your busy schedules for us, for enlightening us and educating us. This is very, very, very informative, and we've learned, personally, I have learned a lot, a lot. And I believe we would all practice in one way or the other with the little data we have. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so please, I would like to call on the chairman of the academic committee to make a little presentation. Doctor, please, if you are on, over to you.
Okay, hello everybody. Hello everyone. So my name again is Fiasam Linda Delali, and I would like to thank Doc very much. He's been so resourceful, especially for the Chengdu chapter. Each time we call on, we fall on him for academic help. He's ever willing, not just academic help, any form of help that will, he just loves to see people okay, whether academic, psychologically, he is that big brother, that father figure that we cherish so much. Thank you once more. So on behalf of the academic committee and the entire membership of NUGS Chengdu, we say a big thank you to Dr. Benjamin Kluger-Brown for sparing his time. He's a very busy man, but he still spared time to make it for us, make it to this program. And I personally have learned a lot. Prior to this program, I think poster presentation is not so common for most schools in China here. I don't know, I stand to be corrected though, but from what I've seen and heard from friends and all that. So Doc enlightening us on this is very, very, very important. So thank you once more. And I would like to thank everyone that made it here, but I would like to note the presence of a few people. We have the, first of all, the national organizer, who is in the person of Mr. Seto. Honorable, thank you so much for gracing today's occasion. And I would like to also thank our chapter president and his team, Mr. Victor Agbesi. Thank you so much. You guys have been our support. I mean, all the academic programs you've been organizing as a chapter, we wouldn't have been able to be successful without you guys. And I want to thank everyone. I mean, every participant here, whether you, so we have the national president, Madam Irene Koko. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We are so delighted to have you today. Thank you so much for gracing this program for us. I thank everyone for making it today to this program. And we believe that whether you're a NUGS member or not, as long as you're a student, you benefited from this program. And in moving forward, you will know what to do in case you are supposed to present a poster or a PPT, at least. If nothing at all, you know the difference. And so you know where to put much content and where not to put much content. So thank you all. And I would like us to have a good evening. And as we walk into the new week, may we expect positive things as we walk into it with positive vibes. Thank you so much and good night.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much,
Madam
Madam
Chairwoman.
To bring the whole program to a close, I
Thank you
will
all.
invite Miss Christine, if she's on the platform, she could please give us a closing prayer.
Okay, shall we pray? Our Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for a successful program. Lord, we commit everybody here into your hands as we go to bed and as we begin this week. that you shall guide us and protect us. Thank you so much for what you have done. This and many other things I ask in Jesus' name I pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
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 Thank you, everybody, for making time out of your busy schedules for us to study today. We hope to meet again, if not in academia, probably in business or other things. Thank you. Have a good evening. Good night.